Yep.
I will open the policy committee, and the first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Second item on the agenda is the approval of August 18th minutes.
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Number 3 on the agenda is policies for first reading. We have policy EBCA, Crisis Prevention and Emergency Response Plans, with minor changes.
Yep, so it used to be called the Emergency Response Plan, and there was a House Bill 1125, and so now they want it to be called an Emergency Operations Plan. And it used to go to the Department of Ed, but now it goes to the Department of Homeland Security. And it also now includes the Sports Injury Emergency Action Plan, which Kevin Hebert at the high school and his staff put together. And so that is complete and it is part of it. They used to require us to have it uploaded by September 1st, and now they want it from October 15th. Sorry, the New Hampshire Department of Safety by October 15th.
Yes.
Looking at the title, do we want to change the title from Emergency Response Plans to Emergency Operations Plan? Be consistent with the language?
Certainly, if people are in agreement.
Sure.
Would I need to bring it back next month, or would we say as amended?
Amended for
I-
second
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amended for second reading, I think.
Yeah, plus it would go to the full board anyway.
Right. Right, if they want response out,
Yep.
which should say emergency operations plan? That's the
Yeah.
way the rest of it,
Yeah, to
Yeah.
the way
fit
the rest of
the
it does.
changes below, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, all right, great.
Great idea. Thank you.
Anyone have anything else? Well, I would recognize you,
I
Sandy.
have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is this a new state requirement, or are we just deciding in-house to change the title?
It's a new law. It's a new state requirement.
Okay,
Yeah. It has to go.
yep, okay, great, thank you.
I'm wondering if they're doing that for childcare too. We were just looking at our emergency response plans, procedures, but I don't know if we've received anything, so we should look into that.
Yeah. This came from the New Hampshire Department of Education.
Ours, they're not doing it anymore, right? It's switching over to the Department of Safety. Yeah,
Right. They no longer want it sent to them. They want us to send it directly to the New Hampshire Department of Safety.
And do they know
The
it?
Department.
Department of Safety?
I don't want.
Or are they just gonna end up with this on their
I'm
desk or
sure they
something?
have somebody at the Department of Safety that's watching new state laws as well.
Yeah, because it was a
And you were state rep long
I
enough to
know,
know
but
that that's not
I
necessarily
would
true.
think they would be able to do that. They have enough lobbyists, they have enough people that,
I'd like to move EBCA to the full board as amended for first reading.
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And then we have policy EF, food service management with no changes.
So it looked like you had been going through and reviewing all policies. That was the next one. It hadn't been reviewed since 2019. I called and spoke with everybody, the food service manager, and it's all still required and it's still the same. There's been no changes.
Okay.
I'd like to move EF to
I have a
full
question.
board.
Oh, sorry, question.
Sorry. Do all of the elementary schools have a food manager in their buildings?
Yes.
So one of our smaller schools has potential 120, and then one of our bigger schools has like 300 and something. Would one school have more than one manager, or is it just required that they each at least have one?
One person's like the boss, and then they have staff that work and that they supervise and support.
Okay.
So like, East Rochester has 3, another school might have 1.
So East Rochester could have 3 cook managers?
No, 3
3
staff
staff.
that support it, one of them is the manager.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. That was it.
Questions? Do you want to make a motion?
You don't need a motion first reading. The other one made sense because you amended.
Don't we send it to the school board for first reading?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do
Full board?
motions.
I'd like to move EF to the full board for first reading.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And then we have policies for second readings, along with background music.
Yep, so those
We
are,
have policy EBBA-4, immunization standards with minor changes.
we reviewed that before, they no longer have to be notarized.
Right. Policy JLDBB, suicide prevention and response with
The-
minor changes.
They passed that law that the suicide hotline number should be on IDs.
And KBA-2-R, administrative procedure right to know request, that's new.
And I believe that was the form that we had discussed last time, that we will, accept all right to knows, we'll help people fill it out if we need to.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Andy, did you call?
Go ahead.
I saw you look at me, so I
Yeah,
just
go
wasn't sure.
ahead, yeah.
So if somebody were to send an email with a right to know request, would we still honor that one? And this is just if they want to fill it out, or would
We
we,
would still on
we would still honor it? So this is just something to streamline for us, so if people want to fill a right to know request and they don't know how to do it, they could fill this form out.
it. Correct, and sometimes if we don't get all the information, then it's, you have to go back and forth to find out, what they're asking you. So
Okay.
this helps them fill it out and put in all the information that we need. So it would be like a one-time, they could just submit it.
And then you had mentioned, somebody had called me and you had mentioned that this information would be put on the website. Would their names be put on the website as well?
Yes, it's the requester, the name, who
So-
requested it.
I was contacted by a constituent that said they would not want their name out there for various reasons. If they do not want their name put on the website, what would they do for that? Would they just say, I don't want my name on there?
There's other school districts that have that too. It's in alignment with the city. Sarah, do you know if the city puts the person's name?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
we're-
what if the person saying the right to know doesn't want them for whatever reason? If they don't want their name to be put on the, I guess my concern is if you want to do a right to know request and you're emailing it and they're requesting that their name not be put out there, I would think that we would honor that.
I don't know why. I would think that's everybody's right to know who's requesting the information.
That can be subject to a right to know.
Yeah.
That's-
Who's
Right.
requesting right to knows.
Yeah.
It could be subject to it, but I don't know that we would put it out there.
I don't know what the difference is. If someone called and said, who asked for this, we'd have to tell them. I don't understand the need for secrecy.
Because if
I don't.
somebody wants to know something that's within their right to know, this is how it was said to me.
What about a child?
And they're concerned about a custody, like, whatever, with their, like, whatever, and they just don't want their name. They wanna have the information, which is theirs within their right to have, but they don't want their name put out there. Why would we have to put it, I guess, like, why? I mean, you're right, they can fill out a 91A and fill out a request, but why voluntarily put their name out if they're asked to be confidential? You could put that they did a right to know request and just not put the name. I would think that we would keep their confidentiality.
I don't see what's confidential. I don't see the need for confidential. They've asked for something that's public right to know. Public has a right to know who's asking for it.
Why does it have a right to know?
Yeah,
Where do you
why?
get that? I don't see that in the RSA 91.
I guess that's what I'm asking, like, why does the public have the right to know when somebody's asking for it? They have the right to the information, but why do we have, like, what, if they ask not to publish, why don't they have the right to confidentiality?
It's taxpayer dollars that are being used to access the information, to collect the information. That's costing taxpayers money. every time we get a right to know and collect that information. So I feel the public has a right to know how their tax dollars are being used.
And it'll state how many employees it took to complete it
Yeah.
and how many hours.
Which I agree with that. I'm just
It
saying
has
if a
nothing to do
person
with
wants
that.
to
This
be.
is
I'm
totally
just
different.
saying what's
This
going
is-
to be on it. That's what's going to be on it.
Sandy?
Yeah, well, I have a real problem with that phrase on the bottom of this thing, a brief synopsis. I don't think there is any reason to be publishing on a bulletin board, which everybody can see, when I have a question about X. The kid that sits in front of my daughter at 3rd grade and keeps turning around and throwing ink at her or something. I just think that's not the kind of information that anybody needs to know about that. That is seems to me an internal thing.
Can I chime in on that? That's
Sure.
student confidentiality, and it's against the law for us to release student names. So this is.
So you
students-
would publish everything except the student's
You
name?
would not publish, you can't, it's against the law.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think all of it's against the law, Christine. I think the fact that you're publishing the request's name on a bulletin board that's there to see, because they might have a problem on the school bus and somebody is harassing them that's their neighbor. So all of a sudden they're gonna say, oh, they're putting a right to know law in on me. I don't think
They're
there's.
not
that's
asking-
not-
They're just asking for public records of our meetings, for right to know.
That's a different story, Ann,
But that's
because
what
those
this
are
is.
public meetings. This is a specific
order, she made her
request about
point.
an individual thing.
It's still her.
Nah,
No, she's made her point. Efficiency is called meetings have to be run differently, and we are just talking about the same point. I would request that the assistant superintendent just gets a legal opinion regarding if there is an option to make it anonymous for the name, and that's it. And that's the only thing we have to verify. That was the original question.
So should I motion to table it till we get that, since it's second reading?
No, that's a separate motion. I just put a request for clarification out there. So someone has to second the
Second.
motion that was made. And then we would have a discussion.
I'm thinking it would be easy to find out. The city must have,
Fire department has the same process.
And Alton
City
has the
doesn't
same
have a published
process.
list.
what?
They keep a list of all the requests, but they don't have a published list of who makes the request.
The city?
Yeah. Because I think this is illegal, clearly. I don't-
Alton does it, the town of Alton has it posted.
Did Jerry review this, just for the hell of it? I mean,
Well-
that's supposed to be his job, right?
Call the vote?
Who am I answering?
The vote,
Doesn't matter.
do you have a
Votes are
question on this
motions,
motion?
Yeah, there's a motion
I-
on the
I just-
table, on the floor.
And there's a
motion.
discussion after the motion, right?
Right.
Okay, so I just want to be clear where my stand is, whether it's illegal or not. I think that if somebody wants to do a right to know request and doesn't want their name out there, I don't understand why we wouldn't honor that. Because then I think my concern would be, if I don't want my right to know request name on there, am I gonna make a fictitious name, which could just, you know what I mean? I think it's just, if somebody doesn't want to and they put the right to know request and they put like anonymous or confidential, I don't understand why it would make a difference. So illegal or not, I just want to be clear that that's kind of like my stance. So I just wanted to make sure that was
All right.
clear.
The
Thank you.
motion was to,
Verify if there's an option for people to be anonymous in terms of the published listing. We can have
Correct.
further discussion on those other pieces, but that's all it is. That's what your
Right.
original point was.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, so it will verify whether it has to be.
So then the other motion, table.
So I'm gonna make a motion to table KDA-2-R until we get legal consultant information.
Will be the second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Do we have show of hands?
Okay.
Renee was,
2 nays and the rest are ayes.
okay,
If that makes sense.
so it's 3-2,
4-2.
4-2. She's not on the committee.
No.
3-2.
And the chair abstains?
I just didn't vote, I abstained.
Okay,
Yep,
just making sure.
yep. Okay, and we go to the 5-year plan, which we have our homework set by the chair of the 5-year committee for November.
Oh,
Yes.
did we vote on the other two
No.
to send?
Oh.
So I'm gonna make a motion to send EBBA-4 and JLDBB to the full board for second reading and adoption.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
5-year plan. Nothing for us to accomplish this evening.
You have to look through your list of your priorities, and obviously more will come from 5-year for you guys after they look at the full community
Right.
report. But if there's anything that's been added from the last meeting for 5-year that you want to re-strategize, you guys do it all next meeting.
Yep. I think that would be much more.
Cool.
Yes.
Are we getting that list sent to us or
They'll already send to you guys.
Kyle had it one of his updates,
this Sunday?
not this Sunday.
It was a few Sundays ago.
There was a separate email for 5-year, and then he also put it in his weekly update.
But I'm sure if you reach out, they'll resend it or forward the link. It was just a click here
I'm sure I can find it,
to
yeah.
find it. Okay, any public comment this evening? No?
Not that one, no.
No? Okay. You sure?
Positive.
Okay.
It's like,
Any other? Matt?
I'm wondering if we might be able to put on the agenda for our next meeting, policy regarding staff dress code.
Staff dress code?
Yes, please.
See, what could we review the staff dress code policy next meeting? Oh, Matt.
Is there a specific area that we could prepare for?
Given the heat of the first week or two of school and at the end of the school, I just want to bring this up again to see how the committee feels about relaxing it a little bit to allow staff to dress more appropriately when it's 90 degrees in a classroom or above or something like that. Just have a discussion.
Okay,
That's
okay.
all.
Shane?
Do we have a dress code for staff and students? It is, there is a policy for it? Okay.
I think each school has a handbook that they send home at the beginning of school that describes the dress code.
Okay.
So it might be different at different levels. Any other?
motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?